Hello, my name is Keenan Wilkins, and I work with the parents of exceptional children so that their children can achieve their true potential. Today, we'll be working on the question, what are good grades for exceptional children, and should I be worried? Now, I want to tell you, what works for exceptional children is by definition different than from what works for children in general, so buckle up. A famous physicist called Marie Gell-Mann, while he was in university, he spoke about two different lecturers. There was one lecturer who always had the answers. He always knew everything. He had a little pocketbook, and anything that they asked, he could just tell them the answer right there and then. And these are complicated questions that they were asking. And there was another lecturer who was always terribly disorganized. He'd forget things, he would never really follow up, that sort of thing. And that lecturer, who was terribly disorganized and whatnot, got up to give a lecture on a topic that he wasn't an expert at. He wasn't expert at it because nobody was expert at it. It was recently discovered physics. And he goes up on the board and he attempts to do a derivation or figure out a formula. And he's going through it and he fails the first class. And at the end, he just kind of hand waves and tells his students, we'll work on it next time. And he comes back to second class and he goes and he works it into the board, whatever it is, and he fails again. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll do it next time. And he got up and he came the third time and he worked on it. And Will Gell-Mann tells the story. He's not even sure if the guy ever successfully did find the equation. But what he said was he learned more in those three classes with that lecturer than he did in all of his other classes combined. He saw that for the first time that you have to figure things out in order to get them. Give the children, because they learn more quickly and they're able to make more guesses and better guesses than other children, they oftentimes never learn to try. He was in university and he saw somebody who he knew was better than he was by a wide margin stand up there and fail at something. And that was the first time that it registered to him that, oh, in order to do this work, you have to try. If you want your children to have extraordinary results, then you have to recognize that grades are a reflection of a child's ability to do what is expected of them. That's all. If you have a child who is constantly getting grade A's, they are showing that they are capable of doing what is expected of them. Good job. There's nothing wrong with high grades. Some gifted children would realize pretty early on that they can get similar results to everybody else with significantly less effort. Now, guess what that means? Very early on, they would learn that I can get a B without paying attention at all. And after the initial shock of parents being upset about their B's, life goes on and life continues. And those kids actually never learn how to try. So the question, what are good grades, could be answered as follows. Good grades for exceptional children should be high grades in the things that they have an interest in, and you should be okay with mediocre grades in the things that they don't care about. The truth is, the grades are low in the things that they don't care about it because they don't care about it, not because they're incapable of doing it. Now, here's the thing. If you want them to do exceptional things, you have to put them in exceptional circumstances. Exceptional circumstances generally mean that there will be a lot of failure. That's because most people do what most people do and get the results that most people get. If you want exceptional results, you have to be prepared to do things that most people haven't done. You have to be prepared to answer questions that haven't been answered. You have to be prepared to experiment. If you want your child to have exceptional results, you have to be okay with them failing. And you have to teach them not just to be okay with failing, but to look for scenarios in which failure is a likely outcome. At first, they might be very invested in the grades and whatnot. You keep them getting the good grades, sure. When they're trying things at home, when they're testing out their ideas, and even if you know that the idea is going to fail, go with them along the journey and get to the destination. And don't just say, haha, it failed. Say to them, okay, let's figure out why it failed. That sort of learning is something that does not happen in conventional education, and you will have to do it for your children. You'll have to go with them and down paths that you yourself have no idea what's on the other end. And if you do so, you would realize that pretty soon they would realize that failure isn't dangerous. And it's the people who are unafraid of failure that can actually accomplish extraordinary things. Gell-Mann would go on after competing in university to win a Nobel Prize in physics, precisely because he learned then that failure is just a part of the process of doing extraordinary things. If you want your child to have extraordinary results, Pair them with somebody who can do extraordinary things, who is comfortable failing with them and in front of them. And so they will learn how to do extraordinary things and to work past failure. Thanks for listening.